They gave me trash for Christmas while buying everyone else iPhones and designer gifts. And what I did next left them speechless. Hi Reddit, I, 25F, have been with my boyfriend, 26M, for about 3 years. I'm really into crafting and love reusing things most people would throw away, like empty bottles or soda tabs. Over time, my boyfriend's family started saving things for me, like old cans or random scraps, and honestly, I thought it was super sweet. I've always appreciated that they thought of me, but here's where things got kind of weird. My birthday is super close to my boyfriend's sister's, 28F, like only 5 days apart, so we had a joint birthday party last year. As gifts, they gave me a bag full of craft supplies, like soda tabs, empty bottles, and some random other bits and bobs. I mean, it was thoughtful in a way, but then his sister got these super nice gifts, like a Pandora charm bracelet and an Apple Watch. I felt a little embarrassed, to be honest, but I kept smiling and thanked them because I really do appreciate gifts in general. My boyfriend noticed, though, and he got really upset. He even wanted to call them out, but I told him to let it go and not cause drama. Then, last Christmas happened. A few days before, I'd hurt my wrists at the gym. Nothing major, just a scrape and some bandages. But I hadn't told his family about it since I hadn't seen them. Only my family and my boyfriend knew what actually happened. So Christmas morning comes, and we're all opening presents together. His family gave everyone else these amazing gifts: new shoes, jewelry, an iPhone, gift cards worth like hundreds of dollars. When I opened mine, I got an empty soda bottle, some used and dirty aluminum foil, and a handful of soda tabs. That was it. Look, I'm all about crafting, but this felt kinda insulting. My boyfriend was fuming, but we decided to keep quiet for now. Then his family asked me, all smiling, "Do you like your gifts?" I just snapped. I smiled back and said, "Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But unfortunately, I won't be able to use them anymore because of my accident." They looked confused, so I explained, very seriously, that my injury was worse than it looked and that both my hands would have to be amputated. My boyfriend nodded with a straight face and added that we hadn't told anyone yet because it was a really emotional situation for me. Their faces went white. They started apologizing, saying they had no idea and how awful they felt. A few of them even looked like they might cry. I just nodded and said, "It's okay, I'm used to it by now," and left it at that. We left shortly after. Here's the thing. My hands are totally fine. It was just a couple of scrapes, but I was so hurt and angry about the gifts that I wanted them to realize how thoughtless they were being. My boyfriend thinks I was justified, but later his sister texted me saying I was cruel for making a scene and guilt-tripping the whole family on XMAs. The word got to her that my hands are fine. So now I'm starting to feel a little bad. Did I go too far? Aita? Update 1. So after Christmas, my boyfriend's family went completely radio silent. No texts, no calls, nothing. At first, I thought they were just busy with the holidays, but even after New Year's, there was still nothing. My boyfriend tried reaching out to his mom, but she just gave him short replies and changed the subject every time he mentioned me. It was clear something was up. I'll admit, I felt a little bad about the whole hands amputated thing, but honestly, they deserve to be called out, right? Anyway, one day my boyfriend's sister, let's call her Amanda, finally texted me. She sent this long message about how I humiliated their family and ruined Christmas for everyone. She said that their gifts were meant to be thoughtful because they knew I liked crafting, and that I should have been grateful instead of making them feel like monsters. Then she said something that really stuck with me. "We thought you were part of the family, but clearly you don't see us the same way." That hit me hard. I mean, I've always tried to get along with them, even when they've done things that rubbed me the wrong way. But this? I just couldn't let it slide. So, I decided to respond. I told Amanda that while I appreciated the thought behind their gifts, it was hard not to feel hurt when everyone else was getting expensive, meaningful presents, and I got literal trash. I explained that it made me feel like they didn't value me as much as the others. I also admitted that the hands thing was over the top, but said it was the only way I could express how upset I was in the moment. She left me on red. For days. My boyfriend kept telling me not to stress about it, but I couldn't help it. I kept thinking about what she said, about how they thought I was part of the family. Was I the problem? Should I have just sucked it up and kept smiling like I did on my birthday? Or was I right to finally stand up for myself? A week later, we got invited to a family dinner at their house. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go, but my boyfriend convinced me, saying it would be a good chance to clear the air. So we went. When we got there, everyone was acting weirdly nice to me, like overly polite. They kept asking if I needed anything or if I was comfortable. His mom even made my favorite dish, which was surprising because I didn't think she even knew what it was. It felt off. After dinner, Amanda pulled me aside. She apologized for how things had gone down and said that they genuinely thought I would love the gifts because of my crafting hobby. She said they never meant to hurt me and admitted that they might have gone overboard with the whole expensive gifts for everyone else thing. She also said she felt awful when she thought I was losing my hands, and that it made her realize how much she'd taken me for granted. I told her I appreciated the apology, but that it would take time for me to fully trust their intentions again. I said I wanted to feel like an equal part of the family, not just the crafty girlfriend who's easy to shop for. She seemed to understand and said she'd talk to the rest of the family about being more thoughtful in the future. Things seemed to be getting better after that. They started including me in more family activities and actually asking for my input on things, which was a nice change. But then, a few weeks later, I found out something that completely changed how I saw the situation. My boyfriend's cousin, let's call her Sarah, reached out to me on Instagram. She'd seen my Christmas post and wanted to chat. We've always gotten along pretty well, so I didn't think much of it. But during our conversation, she casually mentioned something that made my jaw drop. Apparently, Amanda had told the family months ago that I didn't care about expensive things and preferred sentimental gifts. She said I'd once mentioned how much I loved using recycled materials for crafting and that I'd probably be thrilled to get stuff like that for Christmas. At first, I was like, okay, maybe Amanda just misunderstood me. But then Sarah dropped the bomb. She said Amanda had also been complaining to the family about how my boyfriend spends too much money on me and how it wasn't fair that he treated me like I was special when they were all family. She'd basically convinced them to give me those crappy gifts to humble me, or some nonsense like that. I was furious. All that talk about thinking I was part of the family and being thoughtful? Total BS. Amanda had set me up to feel like garbage on purpose. I showed the messages to my boyfriend and he was livid. He confronted Amanda, who denied everything at first, but eventually admitted that she might have said some things that were taken the wrong way. She tried to downplay it, saying she didn't mean for it to go that far and that she thought I'd find the gifts funny. Funny? Really? I told her straight up that her actions were cruel and that if she really thought of me as family, she had a messed up way of showing it. My boyfriend backed me up, saying he was disappointed in her and that she owed me a real apology. Amanda hasn't spoken to me since. His mom and a few other family members have reached out to apologize, but it's hard to know who to trust now. I'm trying to move past it, but every time I think about what Amanda did, it just makes my blood boil. So, yeah, things are still a mess, but at least now I know who's really on my side. My boyfriend has been amazing through all of this, and I'm so grateful for him. As for his family, well, I'm taking it one step at a time. We'll see where things go from here. Update 2. Okay, so a lot has happened since the whole fallout with Amanda and my boyfriend's family. Things went quiet for a while after the confrontation. Amanda basically went full ghost mode and avoided any family gatherings where I'd be present. At first, I thought maybe she was feeling guilty, but then Sarah, the cousin who told me about Amanda's shady comments, messaged me again. This time, she had even more tea to spill. Apparently, Amanda had been trash-talking me behind my back for months. She told people that I was Ling Moochie because I wasn't contributing my share to family expenses, which makes zero sense since I'm not married into their family and don't owe them anything. She also claimed that I was only with my boyfriend for his money. This was hilarious to me because my boyfriend and I split expenses pretty evenly, and I actually make more than he does. But what made my blood boil was hearing that she'd been telling everyone that I look down on them and think I'm too good for their family traditions. I couldn't keep quiet anymore. I talked to my boyfriend and we decided to confront her again. This time, we asked his mom to be there so everything could be out in the open. When we showed up at Amanda's place, she looked surprised but didn't slam the door in our faces, so I'll give her that. We sat down and I calmly, okay, maybe not so calmly, laid everything out. I told her that I knew what she'd been saying about me, how hurtful it was, and how it felt like she'd been trying to turn the family against me. My boyfriend backed me up, saying he was tired of her stirring up drama and trying to make me feel unwelcome. Amanda's response? She denied everything. She said Sarah was making stuff up to cause drama and accused me of playing the victim. Her mom tried to mediate, saying maybe there had been some miscommunication and that we should all try to move forward. But I wasn't buying it. I asked Amanda point blank if she had told the family to give me trash for Christmas. She hesitated, which was all the answer I needed. I told her that her actions were cruel, and if she had a problem with me, she should have come to me directly instead of using the entire family to make her point. The tension in the room was unbearable. Amanda eventually stormed out, saying she didn't have to sit there and take this. My boyfriend's mom looked embarrassed and apologized, but it felt half-hearted. I think she wanted to keep the peace more than she actually cared about what had happened to me. We left shortly after, feeling like nothing had really been resolved. After that, things got even weirder. Amanda started posting vague, passive-aggressive things on social media. Stuff like, some people just can't handle the truth, and it's funny how people play innocent when they're really the problem. I ignored it at first, but then she posted something that really crossed the line. She shared a meme about gold diggers and captioned it with, "Know your worth, but also know when someone's just using you." I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but it was pretty clear who she was talking about. I was done. Completely done. I screenshot the post and sent it to my boyfriend, who was just as furious as I was. He called her out in the family group chat, saying that her behavior was unacceptable and that she needed to stop attacking me. Amanda played dumb, asking, "What are you talking about?" But the rest of the family started chiming in. Some supported us, saying Amanda had gone too far, while others told my boyfriend to stop airing family drama in public. It turned into a full-blown argument, and I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting there with popcorn watching it all go down. Eventually, Amanda left the group chat. His mom called my boyfriend afterward and begged him to let it go for the sake of family harmony. But he told her that he was done making excuses for Amanda's behavior and that if she couldn't treat me with respect, we wouldn't be attending any more family events. His mom tried to guilt trip him, saying that family is everything, but he stood his ground. I was so proud of him in that moment. Since then, we've been keeping our distance from his family. We've spent more time with my family and our friends, and honestly, it's been a breath of fresh air. I don't have to walk on eggshells or worry about what passive-aggressive comment Amanda's going to make next. My boyfriend's mom has been texting him occasionally, asking when we'll come back into the fold, but he's been firm about needing an apology from Amanda first. As for Amanda, I heard through the grapevine, aka Sarah, that she's still complaining about me to anyone who will listen. She's apparently convinced that I'm brainwashing my boyfriend and trying to isolate him from his family. Honestly, at this point, I'm just over it. If she wants to play the victim, that's on her. I'm focusing on the people who actually care about me and treat me with respect. But here's the kicker. Last week, my boyfriend's grandma reached out to me. She's always been sweet and supportive, and I've never had any issues with her. She told me that she'd heard about the drama and wanted to apologize on behalf of the family. She said that she was disappointed in how Amanda had treated me, and that she hoped I wouldn't hold it against everyone else. We had a really nice chat, and she even invited me and my boyfriend over for lunch to catch up. It was such a relief to know that not everyone in his family had been poisoned by Amanda's toxicity. So that's where things stand now. I'm still keeping my distance from most of his family, but I'm open to rebuilding some relationships if they're willing to meet me halfway. As for Amanda, I've accepted that we'll probably never get along, and that's okay. Not everyone has to like me, but I'll be damned if I let someone walk all over me and then play the victim. At the end of the day, I'm just grateful for my boyfriend and the people who truly have my back. Life's too short to waste energy on people who don't.